Hey guys, Steve here. Today we got a game in the Z-39 for you. This is going to be kind of a how to German destroyer game in general. So Eric Bay on the screen here. I got Burke, which is a relatively new change to the build, one I do enjoy quite a bit, and Swirsky. Swirsky's the double concealment. He's the generalized, makes your ship more concealed as opposed to your destroyer, which is what Bay has, ergo the double concealment. If you don't have Swirsky, who comes with the Polish Biscuit, which is rarely available these days, then I would recommend either Sims, gives your ship more HP and it's most valuable on destroyers, or I would run Trubes, Russian Destroyer Commander, who reduces incoming damage. You could also think about slapping Vian on there, increasing the incoming dispersion as well to help protect your ship. But we're going to be focusing like a laser on two objectives: capturing objectives and seeking and killing the enemy destroyers. That's how I have these German guns or these German boats set up. They're hybrid ships, but I lean them more towards the gunboat side of things as opposed to the torpedo boat side of things. I've talked to good players who run Von Spee, I believe his name is, and run it more on the torpedo boat side of the equation, which is fine. But I like to use these in these roles. Domination mode, I think German destroyers are extremely strong for that reason. They're very good at both objectives. So number one, we're going to go here on A. We're going to attempt to capture this base if possible. But why we changed Burke onto this build, number one, the guns, they're just not that accurate, on their own. That's kind of the main weakness, especially if you're in a gunfight with another good gun destroyer, like an American destroyer or a Russian destroyer, potentially French destroyers. We have the Terrible, we have the Eagle, and sooner or later we're going to get the full line. But I suspect those will be pretty good in terms of guns as well. And when you get into those sort of duels with the ships, if you got shots that are kind of spraying all over the place and you're only hitting 50% of your shells, or you're hitting less of a percentage of your shells than the enemy, then they're better DPM to begin with, and the fact that their accuracy is more on point, they're just going to end up beating you in the straight-up gunfight. We do have the Sonar. We're going to see the smoke sonar combo here against the Jervis. Captured A, launched some torps due to that twist and track. It was kind of a blind fire, twist and track kind of a launch. We didn't know if there was a destroyer over there. Turns out there's battleships, but the Byron is going to catch some of those torps. We don't need to stay over here, though, torping battleships. We're here to win the game. How do we win domination mode? Capturing bases and killing the destroyers on the enemy team, which removes their ability to easily capture bases. So if you want to win domination mode, those should usually be your team's two main objectives. German destroyers, doesn't really matter which one you have, as long as it's got the sonar. And if you want to set them up like this, they're the perfect ships to be doing that. So by process of elimination, we know there's no destroyer in the west. We got one here in the cloud, the Jervis, and we can assume there's one in the east, although there's no definitive proof yet because it hasn't been spotted. But due to the fact that we have two ships directly south of this Jervis, easy to deduce where the other destroyer is. Anyways, here's the advantage we have. Now, the Z-39, I believe, is the best destroyer sonar in the game in terms of range. So we're really going to be putting the squeeze on this guy. He's trying to rush us with his sonar active, but you can see how many shots we're getting, and we're getting support from our team as well. So this guy's sustaining a lot of fire. He finally spots us there, and it doesn't even read the sonar icon, so I don't know if we're getting proxy spotted due to him being close or if that's just a visual glitch. I'm not 100% sure there, but you can see the advantage. And even though the Z-39 is the best sonar, doesn't matter if you're running the other German tech tree ships or whichever one you're running. With the smoke sonar combo, you're going to outdistance those other destroyers. Keep in mind, though, cruisers are going to typically have longer range radar than you will. So if they're pushing you, you got to be wary of that. You got to get out of there. You can't let them push in to contest you. Nevertheless, Jervis is dead, and we're flipping B. We already have control of C as well. Our team did a good job to open the match there. We have 3 caps, and even though we're only up 1 ship, you can see we're crushing them in score, and that's only going to get worse and worse for them. The longer they allow us to have these caps, and they're not getting on there to contest them, the less likely, by every second, their odds of winning the game go down. So when you got the enemy team capturing the bases aggressively very quickly, doesn't mean you got to rush on there immediately in a high risk play and get yourself killed trying to flip the cap. but you need to have kind of a laser focus on that. How can we clear the cap of danger and then get on it as quick as possible? And hopefully your team is alert to the game situation as well, and they got the same objective in mind, spread out throughout the map. Torps in on the Gneisenau. Now what you need to recognize right now is the Gneisenau is blocking us. You can see the enemy is flipping C, and there is the other destroyer. He's not spotted over there, obviously, so we know that's where he is now. That's our goal, is to get over there, kill the destroyer, and then hopefully flip the cap as well. But we cannot get too close to this Gneisenau. He'll spot us, he'll end up blasting us, his secondaries will go off. There's some widespread torps, which we always love around here when they're coming our way. But, it's just, we can't get by that guy to go do what we're going to do. So we're going to have to deal with him first. Now you can see on the bottom there, all of our consumables are on cooldown. That's going to make the job a little bit more difficult. Luckily, we got some pretty good support from the team here, even though, we're still, well, now we're up 2 ships. We were up a ship a second ago, but we're gaining momentum in terms of ship count. But again, map positioning, we're controlling the center of the map pretty well. Red team looking on the map, they're kind of playing around the objectives. So too early to call in terms of, who's going to come out on top in terms of team HP. But in terms of map control, looks like Blue's doing a pretty good job in this instance here. Gneisenau is chased away, and now we do have a path that's cleared out to C. So, as soon as the twist and track switched over, we did have visual confirmation at the same time. The Akatsuki was over there. Usually he's not going to be spotted. I believe he probably fired his guns, got himself spotted. But, had he not, we were still paying attention to that twist and track, assuming the destroyer would be in the vicinity. Once the twist and track switched over to him, we could check how far away is the Gneisenau. 8 kilometers. Okay, that means the Akatsuki is 7.9 or closer. You got to be able to use that deductive reasoning and access that kind of hidden information that isn't pointed out on the game screen, but we knew exactly how far that Akatsuki was once that indicator flipped over there. Anyways, we're going to go directly at him. Last spotted, beached on the island. Looks like his smoke is dissipating, so we're going to go in there. Goal number 1 at this point in time, kill the Akatsuki. That means even if we die, this game should be wrapped up. I don't think our team could throw at that point in time. But if we leave an Akatsuki alive, and there's more widespread torps, thank you very much. Extremely easy to dodge. But, Akatsuki against battleship after battleship, there's enough time on the clock, he could potentially torp 2 or 3 of them. That could throw the momentum. So by killing the enemy destroyer and flipping the cap in the process, that's going to give us the insurance that basically, the peace of mind to say, okay, well, the game should be in the bag, barring disaster. Sonar's been ready to go for a couple seconds. We're just waiting for those back guns to catch up. Then we're going to pop it. Then we spot him, open up. He's pointing directly at us, so he can't really torp yet. And here we're shooting narrow spreads, but we're leading in front of that indicator. One of them was quite a bit in front. The other one was just leading it. And then we turn tight into those torps. If he launches right on his indicator and we turn tight into them, as tight as we possibly can, pretty good shot at dodging them. So that's what happened there. But getting back on the torp on that guy, some people would say use the wide spreads there. Maybe it would be just as effective, but I typically stick with the narrow spreads because once you understand how to lead those targets, not by strictly firing at the indicator, but by recognizing what they're doing and how to counter that, and in this case that meant leading a little bit more. That cut him off on the turn. He really couldn't dodge those torps. So pretty nifty close range duel there, I guess you would say. And at this point in time, the game is effectively wrapped up. We have all the caps, but getting back into the game plan, captured A, captured B, killed the destroyer on B, captured C, killed the destroyer on C. Our job is done. And if you do that, or something that's along those lines every time you play Domination Mode in these games, you're going to score pretty well. I think we get 27,000 XP, which isn't huge, by the way, but it's about 1,000 more than our second place on this team. So that's the game saying to you, very effective game. But you'll notice up in the right-hand corner there, 37,000. Nobody's going to be like, wow, what a lot of players might even look at it and say, what a crappy destroyer game. Just humbly disagree. In my opinion, this was what I want my German destroyers on my team doing, at least in random battles. Maybe you'd play it slightly different in ranked or competitive, the clan wars that sound like they're going to be coming at some point in time. little bit different role for the destroyer there. But for randoms, you know, narrowly pursuing those objectives, kind of doing them sequentially like that, very easy win for our team here. So anyway, I guess I'll trim it there, guys. You know, we're just riding out the clock and approaching these ships, but nothing else really happened. So anyway, if you did like that video, please hit the thumbs up. New to the channel, consider subscribing. A lot of World of Warships coming all the time, including a look at the Alaska very soon, probably within the next three days or so, plus or minus maybe one. Should have that one up and running soon. Once I figure it out, we'll get some coverage up. Questions, comment for me, leave them below. I do love to hear from you guys. And we'll see y'all later. All right, peace.